Nancy. Are you signed in on your telephone as well?
No, I shouldn't be. My telephone is right next to my computer, though, so I'll turn this off.
Okay. Well, no, there's a Nancy, and I'm not sure. I was thinking maybe that was you.
Okay, check now. I just turned the thing off, so let's see if that does the trick.
No. There's still a Nancy signed in, but I guess, Sydney, is there a Nancy applicant? I don't recall that.
It might be me because I tried several times to log into the meeting. Maybe I'm still logged in from the previous time.
Okay, it says iPhone.
Does that mean she can vote twice?
I like that rule. And if it's my phone, it should not be transmitting because I turned the thing on.
Okay, thank you. Did you turn it all the way off, Nancy, or just press the button on the side to make it go black?
Powered it down.
Oh.
Black screen.
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Good evening, and welcome to the 873rd meeting of the City of Laurel Historic District Commission. This meeting will be held virtually, so if you want to, there's a 2-minute time limit for any speaker who is signed up. If you haven't signed up to speak and you're not an applicant, I think you're out of luck. Sorry, I was just reading that. The qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff to the commission, and any consultants used are on file with the city and are hereby made a part of each and every application heard today. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made a part of each and every application. Each application heard today is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. Before we start with the agenda, I would like to congratulate Monta Burrows. He is now our Director of Community and Economic Development, or vice versa. So congratulations, Monta. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
And we would like to welcome a new commissioner, Oscar de la Puente, who lives in Old Town and has come before us a number of times. So we're very happy to have you join us. Sydney, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cole,
Here.
Ms. McSeany,
Here.
Ms. Snyder, Ms. Frazier,
Here.
Ms. Les,
Here.
Mr. De La Puente.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Item number 2, approval of the minutes for the special HDC meeting held on July 23rd, 2024. Is there any discussion?
I would like to recuse myself. I did not attend that meeting.
Thank you.
This is Mary Eileen. I move to approve the meeting minutes held July 23rd, 2024, as written in the record.
Thank you. Could I hear a second?
I will second that. This is Nancy, and also I am present for the meeting as well. Nancy Steinecke.
Oh, thank you. We have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please, Sydney?
Miss Les,
Yes.
Miss Steinecke,
Yes,
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Miss McSini,
Yes.
Miss Frazier,
I have recused.
okay, Mr. De La Puente.
Recuse as well because I wasn't at that meeting.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 3, HDC 2025-004 for 357 Main Street, submitted by Cameron Manesh. Would staff like to present their report?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair. This is Director Burrows. I'll be reading for Ms. Taylor Harvey, Planner 1. But before we start, I would like to, if you don't mind for a second, I would like to introduce the newest member of our team, Planner 2, Mr. Justin Thornton.
Oh, thank you. Is he on the call?
Yes, he should be, yes.
Yes, I'm right here. Thank you so much, Monte. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yes, okay, thank you. Item number 3. Good evening again, Madam Chair and fellow HDC members. This is Director Monte Burrow reading for Planner 1, Taylor Harvey. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to replace the roof and make several changes to the exterior of the storefront. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to replace the rubber membrane roof in kind. Unlike the existing red brick, the applicant proposes to paint the existing brick in color with Sherwin Williams Agreeable Gray. The applicant also proposes to repaint the front door in Sherwin Williams Super White. Lastly, the applicant is requesting approval to replace the existing window with white American Standard 32 inches by 42 inches double hung white vinyl windows. The windows will replace the existing 32 inches by 42 inches with a 4x4 grid. Thank you, Madam Chair, and the applicant's on the line for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see the applicants on the line. Thank you for coming, Mr. Manesh. Commissioners, are there any questions or comments?
I have a question. It doesn't state here what the grid will be on the new double hung windows. The existing ones are 8x8. And they're very iconic, I guess would be a good word. The building was the headquarters of the Laurel leader for many, many years. And it doesn't seem right to change it that much.
We're happy to certainly try to find the 8x8. Those are not always readily available, but we can certainly inquire and ask. I respect that you're trying to preserve the original nature of the complex. We would love to do that as well. So only barring that the manufacturer doesn't happen would be my only comment, but we will certainly seek that product out. I think the standard for the product is 4x4 versus 8x8. But again, we're totally on board with adhering and seeking best efforts to get that product in there.
If 8x8 isn't available anywhere, 6x6 might be acceptable, but really it is a very unusual look, and it would be a shame to lose it.
We hear that, and we're happy to report back. I'll go to the manufacturer, see everything they have, and report back. And obviously, if they have 8x8, we'll do the 8x8. And if they don't have the 6x6, I can report back. And at the times, maybe we can do like a staff approval outside of this, whatever the board wants.
This is Nancy, if I can jump in here. Can we go back to the first photograph of the building? Architectural what you've got in the center of the building are 6/6 with 2 side lights for the second and third floors. And
Well,
then
they
the
are-
other windows, like Marlene pointed out, are 8/8. Yeah. And I agree with Marlene. I think it's a distinctive architectural feature of Main Street. And I would very much be happy to see you try to those that you're thinking of. Thank you.
So, Mr. Manesh, I think the question, are the center windows going to have the exact same look as they do now?
So again, if that's the board's desire, then what I would do is contact the manufacturer and try to find like-kind product to replace it. I'm happy to do that. I'd like to know what the board thinks. So basically, if we can replace this exact look, we're happy to do that if the manufacturer has it. If they have like anything less, I think I should respond to you guys in an email or some sort of response with the manufacturer's response. And if it's 6x6 instead of 8x8, then I guess y'all can consider that at the time and let me know your thoughts. But we'll go with the first choice being replacing like kind.
That would be fantastic.
Mhm.
So I have a question. Why do you want to paint the brick?
Well, a few things. We just thought that if we're going to be painting the bottom sills white and the new windows are going to be white, it won't match the kind of older paint. And we thought about power washing it, but we're worried that the structural integrity of the bricks, being the age and vintage that they are, will not hold up and that they'll just break down. Because we can probably get a few shades lighter and kind of restore the original color if the brick can maintain it. We think that with the age of them that it'll start crumbling. So our idea was to do what we did at 600 Main Street, which HDC approved, which it's kind of the same look. And that was so well received both from you guys as well as just feedback from tenants and from folks driving by that we thought, oh, maybe this is what the board would like and we're going to seek that. So just to kind of do the same thing that was already approved. That was the prevailing thought.
Just a quick comment there. For historic preservation, often because of the old brick, there is a product, it's a peanut shells that they use instead of sand for sandblasting. And it's much gentler for the brick and it works well.
What is it called? Peanut shells?
Peanut shells, yeah.
I've never heard of that. I'll Google it. Peanut shells.
This is Miss McSeany. I don't see any problem with white not matching, the mortar, because white paint would not probably have matched the mortar when it was built either. My thought is when you paint brick, you're just asking for a can of worms for when it starts to peel and you have to repaint. And if you ever want to remove it, it's awful. And it's not a bad looking brick.
Yeah, we have a comprehensive like a renovation package for the interior halls. We're going to be painting it the agreeable gray with the white on the inside. And we're happy to preserve the historic look, but we want folks to know that the building is maintained, and it is maintained both on the inside and outside and very cared for by ownership. So folks, feel they're getting somebody that is looking for their quality of life. And so we'd like to do obviously whatever the board would like, but we're trying to improve it and preserve it for longevity, because this is something we plan on holding a very long time. We want something to last 30+ years. So I do understand the paint. I concern that, you know, if you do paint it, then what, another 5 or 10 years, you might have to repaint it. That is a good point. So I will look into the peanut shells. I mean, this is not a deal killer for us. You know, if this is not approved, that's fine. And just want to just kind of run all ideas by that we could think of, that, and then get the board's feedback and then maneuver from there.
I mean, so it doesn't look, I mean, I think the brick looks pretty good. You know, there are places where it looks like maybe air conditioners have dripped down. You know, but other than that, it's always been brick, and it was also the home of the telephone company when the telephone company first started in Laurel. Does anybody else?
I was just going to say, once you could see what it would look like cleaned up, it would probably be very acceptable.
I know what my question was, Mr. Manesh. Are you putting in central air?
No, we are not. I don't think that it could. I don't think that the electrical capacity could support it.
Okay.
Madam Chairwoman, this is Councilman Cole. I have a comment.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at Main Street. There is precedent for painting the brick. There's one directly across the street that's painted. My question is on the color. Agreeable gray is nice, but for the commission, would we be putting too much gray on there? Or is there another color maybe we could suggest so that it breaks up Main Street so that it's not all gray going down the street? If he does need if we do end up with the paint option.
Good point.
The building does stand out, so it was a question for the commission. I just wanted to point that out. There's a lot of gray down there now. This is one of the few standout buildings in that block.
Yes.
Does the board have a preference?
Do we have a picture of the agreeable gray? I'm scrolling through.
Oh,
Yeah, it's almost white looking in the picture.
I just noticed something. Would there be any effort to outline or accentuate the blocks that are above the second floor windows and the first floor door?
And I would agree, Ms. Frazier, that was a concern of the paint with the paint, another concern of the painting after the maintenance question. Mr. Manesh.
The block, you know, I haven't put thought into that. I'm happy to, now that I'm hearing your feedback, I can provide some options, and I do have a designer that I could sit with and provide this feedback and see if I can come up with like a version 2, maybe do some accentuation, maybe we'll look at the peanut shells and then maybe a color modification. Is there any for color modification? Is there any like preference that you guys can like steer us to?
We have a list of acceptable colors, don't we?
We do.
That you could see at City Hall.
Yeah, I've seen that before. So it's still something on that list. Okay, fine.
Or you can pick out something else, and you know, there's a bright blue we weren't too crazy about, but you know, we're not super picky. It's just, you know, Councilman Cole has made a good point that it's a whole lot of sort of the same if it ends up agreeable gray. So it sounds to me like I'm not saying you need to go back to the drawing board, but you have things to think about, I guess.
Correct.
So would you like to come back with what you find out?
Yeah, and the idea is like I'm going to sit down with the designer, take all this feedback in, come with a version 2, get some feedback from the window manufacturer, come back with the color, look at accentuating the little blocks. I just wanted to get your general feedback so I know what direction to head this into, because it is quite a bit of a task, right? It's a large undertaking, and I know there's multiple points here, and I just want to see what your thoughts are and then kind of mold it towards what the board is thinking, and then do like a version 2.
That sounds great.
Okay.
So could I have a motion to table this application?
Madam Chairwoman, so moved. This is Councilman Cole.
Thank you.
Marlene Frazier seconded.
Sydney, we have a motion to table and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. McSinney,
Yes.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Ms. Steineke,
Yes.
Mr. De La Puente.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Mr. Manesh. We look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you again.
Sure. Thank you for working with me. Take
Sure.
care.
Have a good night.
You too.
Item number 4, HDC 2025-005 for 111 6th Street, submitted by Mary and Michael Humphreys. Would staff like to present their report?
Yes, good evening again, Madam Chair and fellow HDC members. This is Director Burrows reading for, again, Planner 1, Taylor Harvey. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to replace their roof. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to replace the existing roof, all damaged gutters, sheeting as needed. The applicant proposed to replace the existing 3-tab shingles with an in-kind 3-tab shingle. The proposed work will also include replacing and relocating damaged downspouts to the right side of the main house. That concludes the reading, Madam Chair, and the applicant, I don't believe, is on call for any question.
Okay, so I have a question. I believe you said replace the roof. Is it both the roof over the house and the porch roof, or just the porch roof?
I believe it's both.
Okay, because on the agenda, it just says front.
Front porch.
It may be, Madam Chair, I don't want to speak out of turn. I do apologize. So if it wasn't clear, but I believe it's just that front porch.
So I was wondering if the applicant would consider half-round gutters instead of contemporary gutters. Do you know if anyone approached them with that thought?
I believe the planner did reach out to him. I don't know if she got any feedback from him. But if need be, we can make that a condition, or we can make that a suggestion. If you, Madam Chair, would like to do that, we can propose 2 options for them.
Thoughts from anyone else?
The current gutters are K-style, correct?
I believe so, yes.
I mean, if they're currently on there as K-style, I don't have a problem with K-style. Unless others do.
Would you like to make a motion?
Sure, let me grab the application number. I move to approve HDC 2025-0005.
Could I hear a second?
I'll second.
Sydney, we have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Ms. McSeany,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes,
Ms. Steineke,
Yes.
Mr. De La Puente.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Sydney. Item number 5, HDC 2025-0007 for 714 Main Street, submitted by Luis Munoz. Would staff like to present their report?
Good evening again, Madam Chair. This is Director Burrow. Reading again for Ms. Taylor Harvey, Planner 1. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to demolish and install an addition. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to demolish the existing porch and proposes to install a sunroom at the rear of their property. The applicant proposes to replace the existing porch at the rear of the property with a 24-foot by 18-foot and equal to 432 square foot sunroom area with a new screen porch. The addition dimensions will be 8 feet by 18 feet, which is 144 square feet. The material of the proposed sunroom will include hardy plank siding and cobblestone with a metal roof in the color of colonial red. The proposed sunroom with a screen porch will occupy a total of 17% of the rear coverage. The sunroom will be 6 feet away from the side property line, and the property will maintain 65% net lot green area. Thank you, Madam Chair, and the applicant is on the line for any questions.
Thank you. Did we get a plot drawing?
I believe we should have, I'm
Yes.
trying to see.
Yep, there it is.
No, I requested to see the addition with the existing residence on the piece of property.
The drawing that shows the property lines, correct, madam?
Yes.
So, hi, I'm the property owner. This is Alan Ernstine and my wife, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Sure. And I see that Luis Munoz is on the line. He's our architect. I don't know whether he submitted that. I can certainly provide it. I just don't know exactly what was submitted. I'm looking at it now. But I can certainly answer questions for you.
So my concern is the square footage. I mean, it looks like it is more than doubling the footprint of your house.
It is in fact not. It is probably half of the house. We don't have a single room in the house that we can sit more than 6 people at. And we're just simply looking for a family room on the back of the house. It is also only 1 story.
Right. I was concerned with the footprint as opposed to the square footage.
Sure. As you're scrolling through it, I'm trying to see what he submitted, and he doesn't necessarily have the whole house there. He can't.
Are you able to unmute Luis Munoz so he can speak?
He can unmute himself.
He said in the chat that he was unable to.
There he is.
There you
Hi,
go.
Luis.
Okay.
Luis, are you there?
Luis, if you're unable to come unmute, could you could you type your answer into the chat?
So we can
You said
convey.
you're speaking, but we can't hear you.
So my calculation, here we go. We've provided a plot plan to the city. That is what he says. I don't have an answer to that. The addition would be approximately 1/3 of a single floor plan, a single floor in their house. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It is almost exactly 1/3 of the square footage of a single floor in our house.
Okay, that was my concern, because when I looked at your application, you can see what's on the screen. I thought I was looking, when I first saw it, at your house and with the addition.
Oh, no,
And
that's all.
It's the two additions, kind of. It's the sunroom and the screen porch.
Sure. The screen porch is almost exactly the same size of the existing screen porch. And it's simply been moved out from the house by the dimension of that 16 by 24 foot room.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions, comments?
Yes, I see a shed in the drawings that's next to the addition. Is that part of the application?
That is our next door neighbor's sunroom at 712.
Yeah. Can you go up one?
Sure. It's a duplex, and that is our neighbor's addition.
Yeah. That's the sunroom at 712.
This is Luis. Can someone hear me?
Sure can.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to call in. For some reason, from my computer, I was not getting any, I wasn't able to unmute myself.
Sure. They were asking about what they thought appeared to be a shed, and we were explaining that is the rear addition to our neighbor, the property at 712, which is on the other side of a fence, which you can just see a fence line running between the two.
Correct. Correct. And then we did submit existing conditions, and you can definitely see that. I can't see it on my screen, but there is, we actually built it was built, what is the address here? It is 712 Main Street. We did, I'll say it was the same exact thing that we're proposing right now, except for that one has gable roof versus the shed roof.
Are there any other questions or comments from the commission?
I would like to make a comment. This is Nancy here. I am actually speaking to you from my addition in 704 Main Street. And my addition here was built in 1995. And the footprint for my addition is larger footprint that you're looking at for the sunroom and screened porch. So we have precedent right here on Main Street. Also, this is a very graceful design and very well thought out. The clerestory windows, which would be on the southeast side of the building. It does guarantee a certain amount of privacy between the two sides of the building, which is a duplex stone millworker's house. What else can I say? I think the cantilevered roof is an interesting concept, because with our stone houses, we do have issues with water runoff from the gutters. So hopefully that will help with any situation you may have with your building. I know it was a major consideration down here. That's pretty much the extent of my comments here. This is a beautiful design.
Well, thank you very much. I'm a 30+ year historic preservation and cultural resources professional, intimately familiar with the Secretary of the Interior standards, so we wanted to sort of respect the scale of the house. And the metal roof also kind of speaks to the metal roof directly across the St. Mary of the Mills parking lot at the community center. So, and isn't obviously readily visible from the principal facade.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Madam Chair, this is Councilmember Cole. I move to approve HDC 2025-0007 for 714 Main Street as presented.
Could I hear a second?
I'll second that. This is Marlene Frazier.
Sydney, we have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. McSinney,
Yes.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Ms. Minneke,
Yes.
Mr. De La Fuente.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much for coming to our meeting and telling us more about your project. And we look forward to seeing it.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your
Not
time.
seeing it. It's kind of hidden.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is HDC 2025-0008 for 333 Prince George Street. The applicant is our new commissioner, Mr. De La Puente. Would staff like to present their report?
Good evening again, Madam Chair and fellow HDC members. This is Director Burrows reading for, again, Planner 1, Taylor Harbor. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to replace the roof. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to replace the existing roof of the house. The applicant proposes to replace the existing 3-tab shingles with architectural style shingles. The proposed shingles will be similar to the existing color Owen Corn black stable. The proposed work will also include replacing and cleaning the damaged gutters, downspouts, and sheeting as needed. The applicant also proposes to install a new chimney flashing by cutting the brick and securing metal inside and seal. Thank you, Madam Chair. And the applicant is on the line, as you know.
Thank you. Mr. De La Puente, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I just let this for you to decide. I abstain. But anything that I would like to add is that the existing roof, as you see, it's a very old roof and it has been so much discolored that it's very difficult to tell the actual color of the roof. I mean, it looks kind of gray. So I am thinking of putting a similar gray to this. But I don't know if we have records from the previous owners of the house that like state the actual color of the roof.
Staff would have to tell you if you had records, but roofs fade. Dark gray is certainly an acceptable color. Are there any comments or questions from other commissioners?
I would like to move that we approve HDC 20.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 7, HDC 2025-0014 for 403 Prince George Street, submitted by Luis, and sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. seeking approval to, oh, this is no longer on the agenda, is that correct?
That is correct.
Item number 8. Oh, Mr. Manesh, I forgot he had 2. HDC 2025-0016 for 531 Main Street. Would staff like to present their report?
Good evening again, Madam Chair and fellow HDC members. This is Director Burrow reading for Planner 1 Taylor Harvey. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to repaint the exterior of the property. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to repaint the existing siding, window sills, and front door of the property. The existing siding is white in a color, and the applicant proposes painting the siding Sherwin Williams Agreeable Gray. The existing window sills are Sherwin Williams Perfect Gray in color. The applicant is proposing to paint the window sills Sherwin Williams Pure White. There are a total of 6 window sills that will be repainted. Lastly, the applicant is proposing to repaint the front door of the building Sherwin Williams Roth Pewter. The existing front door is also Sherwin Williams Agreeable Gray. Thank you, Madam Chair, and the applicant is on the line for any questions.
Thank you. Oh, is he still on? Or did he leave? I don't see him. Mr. Manesh, are you there? I forgot that he had 2 applications.
I have a question. The item number states a color of Sherwin Williams Roycroft pewter for the door. And is that correct? Because Monte, what you said is different.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I apologize. Yes.
Which one is it?
Pewter, I'm sorry. Yes.
Pewter? Okay.
So this is Miss McSeany. Did we find out if he was going to paint all of the doors pewter,
No,
or just?
I'm going. I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Or just the front door, and
Yeah, I believe it's just the front door. I know the planner did reach out to him, so I know definitely the front door.
Well, what are the other doors going to be painted?
Yeah, that's why I wish he was on and he can answer that. I'm not too sure. I believe it's the question. I believe it's the white that he requested, and the front was pewter.
Any other questions or comments?
I have a question, actually. So, this is Nancy. Mr. Manesh will be coming back to present again on the other property. Could we pose the question about the paint color of the doors on this property so that he could answer that as well at the same time? That was my question.
Oh, it looks like he's back on. Mr. Manesh? I see his name down there and he's muted.
Is this better?
Yeah. We can hear you now.
Oh yeah, I was just apologizing. I went to eat dinner. I didn't know we were doing this one too today. I apologize.
Oh, well, I apologize. I forgot you were also farther down on the agenda. Next time, maybe we'll try to put them together. We have a question about the doors.
Okay.
There are at least 3 doors that you can see from Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Are all 3 going to be painted pewter?
I believe so. That we wanted a color. So Oliver's tends to get like I'll call it like a grease on these doors. We tried power washing it first, and then it just looks.
I mean, that was really why I wanted the other doors painted a darker color. because if you, I'm not going to name names, but there is an establishment on Main Street that has a light painted door that gets very dirty looking, whether it's, you know, dirt or wear or what, but it is quite unappealing. So I think a darker color would just be better maintenance wise and more appealing to clientele. So that was really why I was concerned about the colors of all the doors.
Yeah, I agree. And we've tried cleaning it, and it's our choice because we own the building on what we do with it. And we, meaning us versus the actual tenant there. And our desire is to go darker just to hide dirt that accumulates.
Okay. Were there any other questions from anyone else? Okay. Do we have, could we have a motion?
I move that we, this is Marlene Frazier. I move that we approve HDC 2025-0016 for 531 Main Street, as approved with the notation that is all doors.
Thank you. Could I hear a second?
This is Nancy. I will second the move. Thank you.
Sydney, we have a motion to approve and a second with the notation that all the doors will be the same color.
Ms.
Call the roll.
Frazier? Ms. Frazier?
Yes.
Ms. Steinecke?
Yes.
Councilmember Cole?
Yes.
Ms. McSaney?
Yes.
Ms. Les?
Yes.
Mr. De La Puente?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And thank you again, Mr. Manesh. I hope you had a good dinner.
Thank you for everybody's patience. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, last but not least, item number 9, HDC 2025-0018 for 405 Montgomery Street, submitted by Richard and, oh, I'm going to mess this up probably, Adokatha Brew. They are seeking to install fascia and do some repairs. Would staff like to present their report?
Yes. Good evening, Madam Chair and Commission members. My name is Justin Thornton with the Department of Economic and Community Development, presenting the staff report. The applicant is seeking the HDC approval for trimming trees, power washing home, gutter repairs, repairing windows, and repairing the porch brick. The applicant is seeking to trim the tree branches around the perimeter of the home, as well as in the front porch area. The applicant is also seeking to power wash and clean and move debris and dirt from the external facing view of the house. The applicant will also like to install metal fascia behind the gutter of the attic, as well as keeping with the windows. The applicant will like to remove the old putty and then put new seal, and as well as caulking and resealing. The applicant will finally is seeking to put points up to split between the bricks on both sides of the front porch, one column of the front porch, and split on the front porch wall. There will be no replacing any brick. This concludes my report, and I believe the applicant is available for questions.
Hello, this is Atoka the Ashburn Brew. Thank you.
You muted, Madam Chair.
I realize that. I was, thank you for coming. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
thing that I would like to add is that we do not to change anything in terms of look and feel for property. We simply want to repair and begin to prepare the property for the winter and cooler months. In addition to the brickwork in the front, considering there are cracks on the foundation at the stairs. Again, we do not intend to change anything in terms of look and feel.
Okay, thank you. I should say welcome to the neighborhood because
Thank you very much.
You fairly recently moved in. I drive past your house a lot and knew there were new people there.
Yes, we're very happy to be a part of the community now and really excited to get engaged. And I think this is a really introduction to how formalized change requests are for the community. And I appreciate that.
Oh, great. Thank you. Do any commissioners have any comments or questions?
I do. Stop scrolling, please. What is that a picture of?
It looks like the attic, daylight coming into the attic.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So hence the need for the station.
That's correct. There are squirrels and so forth that are able to get into the property as a result of.
Yeah. We've all had that issue.
Yes. Yes. My mother has a chair that we refer to as the dead squirrel chair.
We like squirrels. We really do like squirrels, but we like them outside.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
This is Nancy. I really appreciate the fact that you have taken on one of the old ladies in Laurel, Old Town Laurel, and you're maintaining it and taking care of her and looking forward to the winter with her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I hear a motion?
I move that we approve HDC 2025-0018 for 405 Montgomery Street. That was Marlene.
Councilmember Cole, I'll second.
Thank you. Sydney, we have a motion to approve and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Ms. McSaney,
Yes.
Ms. Les,
Yes.
Ms. Steinitz,
Yes.
Mr. De La Fuente.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And thank you for coming to our meeting. And again, welcome to Laurel.
Thank you so much. Good
Good
evening.
night. I think we need to go back to item number 7. I thought we were removing that from the agenda because we were waiting for some more information from the applicant, but the applicant is on the line. Could you clarify that, Sydney? Or Mr. Burrow?
Justin, can you explain that for her?
Yes. So there were some clarifying information that we needed, and we reached out via email and phone calls, but there was no response. So it was hard to bring up to the commission without that the additional information that we needed.
Okay, so the applicant is Nancy's iPhone. So Nancy, are you there? She was in the chat. Can you unmute yourself, Nancy, because you're muted? So Nancy is saying that it won't let her unmute. Can we fix that?
Do you see a small microphone in the lower left-hand corner of your screen?
She's saying it won't let her unmute. So that makes me think it's like it's on our end. Well, we can't hear you, but now you are getting, I guess, the message that staff has tried to get in touch with you to clarify some things regarding your application. So that is why it was removed from tonight's agenda. Okay, I don't see her adding anything else to the chat. So we will move on to staff approvals. There were 4. Are there any questions or comments? So Oscar, when we have staff approvals, I will explain. I will send the application to all of the commissioners. And if you have an issue with the application, then you let me, you tell me that you're good with the approval, or if you have an objection, you let me know what that is. So it's usually, a straight in kind, white for white, that kind of thing. White paint for white paint, green shutters for the same green shutters. Any discussion? Okay. The only other thing I wanted to add was, did you know that there are apartments in the 2nd floor of Oliver's? I didn't know that until recently. I just thought that was interesting. If there's nothing else, could I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Cole. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your September. See you in October.
Good night. Everyone have a good day.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Take care, everybody.